My coworker cheated on his gef with me. Hi, so I posted this story yesterday but deleted my post as I was scared someone would find it. However, I wish I didn't because I want to read the comments and actually get people's feedback. I won't type the whole story again, but basically, I, 19F, work with a guy Ben, 24M, and we've had a bit of flirty banter for a few months up until last weekend when we hooked up in his home. He has a long-term crew he's been with for around 1 to 2 years. We've had 2 conversations, drunk, not an excuse but context, about how he likes me and would be with me if he didn't have a girlfriend. The first time, I didn't think too much of it, as I was also in a relationship at that point, broken up now, unrelated to this. The second time was this weekend when he said he has had dreams about me, wishes he was single but wouldn't be disloyal to his guff. Obviously he was, and I was the reason, and when we went back to his house with a couple of friends we hooked up in the bathroom. I want to make clear, I'm not justifying this or trying to gain sympathy. I am 100% aware of the fact it was incredibly wrong and I feel disgusting about it. The reason I'm posting is for advice. I've never been in this situation before. I was in a 3-year relationship up until late 2022 and haven't been in a serious relationship since. My ex and I never had issues with infidelity, and I just don't know how to handle this. I know telling his gaffe makes sense. We've only met once briefly, and I'm just not sure if it's my place or mostly she want to hear that from me. They also live together, and I don't want to impact their lives in such a big way. I saw Ben at work today, and we agreed to have a conversation about it during the week. Couldn't at the time. I also do not want a relationship with Ben, as some of the comments on my first post said. That was never my intention, and while I like him as a person, I don't want to date him by any means. I'm not staying in this country for much longer anyway. So despite the comments saying to switch jobs, it's not really feasible for me right now. I just am not sure how to handle this. I am not upset with the amount of comments saying I'm a bad person. I understand that, and I know I will have very bad karma in the future for doing this. My wife went on a girls' trip this weekend. On Saturday, her group was hanging out with guys who were on a bachelor party weekend trip. The guys were buying everything. I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but I would imagine there were 5 girls/5 guys. Anyways, they end up in the guy's suite. The girls start leaving because it's late, and my wife's best friend was the last girl to leave, other than my wife. This best friend recently cheated on her husband of 6 months. The best friend left my drunk wife in a suite. My wife ended up being physical with one of the guys. She came back to the best friend's room and cried. We had a planned trip to visit my family on Sunday. On the way there, my wife broke down and told me. So, within 15 hours of it happening, I knew about it. I am the type of person who does this. I had 2 minutes of screaming fuck, and then I pretty much went into can we fix this mode. Of course, I'm also dealing with random feelings of depression, anxiety, and anger. But generally, I have been focused on the idea of saving the marriage. Our marriage hasn't been picture perfect, but generally our friends see us as having the ideal marriage. We trust each other to go out without the other, we have successful careers, and we did not have any major problems. We did, however, have some intimacy issues that we've been working on forever. Truly nothing major. We do have physical every week, sometimes several times a week, but I just thought I'd throw that out there in the interest of full disclosure. So, I'm pretty pissed at the best friend for leaving my wife alone in that suite. Part of me believes she is a little happy that she has someone else in her life who has made such a huge mistake. That may or may not be part of my disdain for this friend. I have always been very cordial around her in person, without question. I'm pretty pissed at my wife, of course. V in the "can we fix this" mode has led my wife to say something along the lines of, "I feel like I'm being let off too easy." Such a statement scares me for obvious reasons. But when I say that I can't handle the situation and I need to get out, she begs me to stay. I haven't done a good job of explaining this part, but it's safe to say I am just confused. We've decided to go to marital counseling this week. I can't really sleep and I feel as though my life has generally come crashing down. I did read online that it's a good sign that she told me. I have also read that an affair in the manner that this happened is better than a long-term one involving a coworker or the like. But honestly, I'm not even 100% certain that I want this to work. I guess that's what counseling is for, but I can't shake the thought that I will always feel like I deserve better. I am a cardiologist. I have my own practice and I work long hours. We are well off so she doesn't work. She's a stay-at-home wife, a very good one. Our house is always clean. There's always a meal for me when I get home, and she wakes up as early as I do and makes me breakfast. We constantly have sex. Usually after I get home from work, she jumps on me and kisses me as a welcome. She's always real happy when I get home from work. She sometimes can't even wait till I'm done eating for us to have sex. One day I came home from work and I was expecting the usual, her running to me, kissing me, etc. But when I walked in the door, she didn't come running, so I walked into the kitchen and found her there. Food was ready as usual. She was washing something in the sink, so I went behind her, hugged her, and started kissing her neck. She turned away. I grabbed her and faced her towards me. She had a tear running down her cheek. I asked her what was wrong, but all she said was, "Do you love me?" I said, "Of course I do, honey. What's wrong?" She looked away again and mumbled something I asked her to repeat herself. She said, "I'm pregnant." We have been married for almost a year now, and we've been wanting a baby, so I was thrilled and full of excitement, but I didn't understand why she was in tears. I said, "Oh, that's great, baby. But why are you so sad about it?" She said, "I'm not. I'm happy, but what?" "John." She was quiet for a few seconds. "John, I cheated on you." I was speechless and completely shocked cause I did not expect that. She went on. "Susan texted me 2 weeks ago. Susan is my secretary. She's came on to me a few times, but I've always rejected her." My wife continued talking. "She told me you guys were having an affair. She said it has been going on for about a month now. I was completely furious, so I went and got a few drinks. I called Fred and told him about it, so he joined me immediately to support me. Fred is her guy best friend who she claims was nothing but a friend to her. They were always really close, so it bothered me, but she made it clear that she saw him like a brother." She kept talking. "I had more to drink until eventually I was so drunk I didn't know what I was doing. We went back to his place and he was being so affectionate and nice, so I slept with him because I wanted to forget all about what you had done to me. After a few hours I came home and you were still at work. I had already sobered up, so I decided to act as if nothing happened, as if I didn't know about your affair. 2 weeks went by, and every day during those weeks I went to Fred's while you were at work. I wasn't guilty at all for having sex with him, cause in my mind you had been doing the same thing to me for a month. I decided to check up on you, so I asked everyone you knew about the affair, but they all told the same thing, that you weren't having one, that Susan was clearly trying to break us up. So as soon as I found out none of it was true, I called it off with Fred. Yesterday was my last day with Fred. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't tell you about it, so here I'm telling you, hoping you'll forgive me, because it was all so stupid and I really regret it. I should come to a first. I should ask you about it, but I was scared you would just lie to me. I was still taking it all in, so I hadn't said a word. She put her hand on my face and forced me to look at her, then told me, "Baby, I love you." more than you can imagine, and I am so sorry." I looked away because I knew if I didn't, I'd forgive her right there and then, because I still loved her very much even though she had hurt me. She removed her hand from my cheek, then set it on my chest. "I hope you can forgive me, John. I don't want to lose you. I can't live without you. Just give me one chance to prove that this will never happen again." I grabbed the hand that was on my chest and looked her in the eyes and told her to leave the house. She said, "Where am I supposed to go, John?" In anger, I told her to go to her lover's house. She turned away and started walking upstairs to our room. I thought she wasn't going to leave, so I followed her up there, yelling, "If you don't leave, I will." But when I got there, she already had a suitcase out. "Just give me a few minutes to pack and I'll be out of here," she said. She was wearing a beautiful silk robe which she dropped. Underneath, she was wearing my favorite bra and underwear, which she knows I love. She looked gorgeous. I was so hurt, but I loved her and I didn't want her to leave. She got dressed, grabbed the suitcase, and started heading out the door. Without thinking, I grabbed her suitcase and pulled her back with it. "Wait, don't go. If you leave, we'll never fix this, and I still have a lot of questions to ask." She said, "Oak," and set the suitcase down. "What do you want to know?" she asked. "Do you love him?" "Absolutely not. I only love you." "Is the baby his?" "No. It's yours, John. I promise." "How do you know?" "I was pregnant before I slept with Fred. The day I got drunk, I was trying to miscarry. I didn't want the baby without you. I wasn't going to tell you about it because I was angry about the affair, so I planned to leave you, and I figured it'd be easier if you didn't know." "Is the baby okay?" "Yes, I went to the doctor. It's fine." She slept in our bedroom, but I went to the guest bedroom that night. This was yesterday. I don't know what to do. Please help me decide whether I should leave her or forgive her. UPDAT. It's been about a month now. There's not a day that goes by that she doesn't apologize or begs for forgiveness. We still live together, but I sleep in the guest bedroom. I love her, and this is driving me crazy. I want to reconcile, but every time I think of forgiving her and moving on, I picture her in bed with another man. A man I knew. It is so hard. I want my wife back, my wife, not Fred's mistress.